Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. My name is Brandon Lilly, Senior Brand Director here for Marketing 360, and today I'm joined by Samson Jagoras, who is our Chief Recruiting and Training Officer. Samson, how are you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, glad to have you here. For those of you who haven't had a chance to interact or to meet Samson before, he handles a lot of the training, a lot of the management here. As it pertains to training new staff, new employees at Marketing 360. He works very closely with our marketing executives, and he also owns a gym. So in addition to doing the training and helping our marketing executives learn new strategies and new techniques, he also implements them himself. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring him in today, so that we can specifically talk about gym marketing. We're getting really, really close to that get fit season, right? You know, January's right around the corner, and Samson, correct me if I'm wrong, that is a huge time for anybody in the fitness industry.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're not planning for Q4 and Q1 in like the middle of summer, then you're definitely missing the mark. So we've been ahead of that for sure.
Excellent. All right. If you want to follow along this presentation, you can at m360.us/479ff. Again, that's m360.us/479ff. A couple of things we're going to cover today on our topics. We've got a marketing mindset I want Samson to talk about. We're going to discuss pre-launch strategies, the sales funnel and different lead acquisition strategies that work, ad copy, and then, of course, nurturing tactics and a lot more. Samson, anything else you want to cover before we jump in?
No, I think as we get started, I'll give a little history on just how I got to this point and kind of my track into helping launch a gym and my experience and how it kind of translates over to all the success I've had in the gym marketing. So yeah.
Excellent. All right, so let's dive in. We're on the fourth slide here. Let's specifically talk about what is your mindset. You know, specifically, I think, Samson, one of the things you've discussed is, are you a technician versus an entrepreneur, and what that means for somebody who is launching their gym or maybe launching a new marketing campaign.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting when you go to school for physiology. I studied physiology in school and have a master's in nutrition, and they don't teach you anything about business. So when you come out of school, you think, hey, you know, I have this degree and I have all this knowledge and I'm in good shape and it should be really easy for me to attract talent. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, you're really good at fitness and you're not really good at business. So the first thing to just kind of clarify is most people who open a gym, they're technicians first and they're still learning how to be entrepreneurs. So the very first thing you kind of need to lock down before you start any marketing initiative or even before you open your gym is, you know, what's my process for sales? How do I actually handle a lead? What does that process look like? How do we actually, what's the cadence for follow-up? Do I have people in place to handle these leads when they come through? Otherwise, it doesn't matter what you do. You're never actually going to be able to close the leads, and you're going to spend a lot of money to do that. And so the whole system falls apart if you don't have those other aspects figured out.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So you want to kind of identify who you are and where you fit into this and what your skill sets are and kind of where those lie. I think that's incredibly important when you're developing a marketing campaign also, because you kind of understand where do you fall and where do you fall short. Where do you maybe need assistance? Where do you need somebody else that can come in and either temper your excitement a little bit or help get you to that next level?
Yeah, that one of the things that was unique about this process is I've been, you know, at Madwire and Marketing 360 for 7 years. I've in business development, built 4 departments at this point, and learned a lot about what it takes to actually scale up a business. And I didn't actually dive into opening a gym until, you know, 7 years later, and that's because on the back of everything that I learned from our customers, as well as, you know, marketing and scaling up different departments, I wasn't frankly ready for it. But there's 2 other partners in the gym, so I do everything from in the background, the business and the marketing side of it, and then they handle the day-to-day operations and the mechanical equipment stuff. And so we have a pretty good team. So they fall in some of those weaknesses that I have, which is obviously I'm not leaving Marketing 360, I'm not leaving Madwire anytime soon, and I'm not going to be there day-to-day. In fact, I'm really just not that passionate about that side of it, and I'm not that good with putting together the equipment and all that stuff. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses. And then ultimately, once you get all those processes laid in, then you're ready to rock and roll on actually launching a marketing campaign and to grow your business through leads.
So I think that's a great segue. Let's go ahead and jump to our next slide. Let's talk about the pre-launch strategies. How do you plan to follow up? And I think you kind of need to know this before you even kick off a marketing campaign. Kind of work your way, backwards. Kind of decompile your information and go, okay, if I had a lead, what would I do with it, and how would I close them? So I think these pre-launch strategies are really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first thing that we did was just set up the CRM. We made sure that we had a process there. We also put a salesperson in place to handle all that stuff from the day to day. I don't have time to call leads or do anything like that. We had a clear process for how we were going to tackle a lead, what the talk track should look like, what our cadence was to follow, text message, all that stuff. What the in-person consult look like, and how long the promotion was going to be, and their free trial, and all that good stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, by setting all that up,
and we'll have an actual marketing this year. Absolutely.
All right, perfect. Let's start talking about the funnel. Moving on to slide number 6 here, we got lead gen, nurture, sales, upsell, ascension. Talk to me about how you kind of envision the funnel that you're building, and then we'll start jumping into that lead generation, some low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to understand, I think, is for any business model is lead gen is really the lifeblood of your entire business, but the whole thing falls apart if you have a leaky bucket. And so 80% of, at least in fitness, 80% of the leads that you get, they're not just going to show up on their own. So you have to have a strong process for how you're going to actually follow up with those people. And then obviously we already talked about the sales side of it. So you got to have salespeople ready to rock, or a process in place for that. Or if you're a gym owner that's actually managing that side of the business, you got to have that figured out. And then the upsell side of that is, people come on a free offer or something like that, but you got to have something sweet for them to want to actually take the next step. Most people aren't just going to self-sign up. They take the trial, and they need one more little kick through the door. And then the ascension side of it is, how do I take that customer and get them to do other pieces of my business, like tack on personal training or purchase food or clothing or whatever that might be. And that's probably a conversation for another time. We can get into whole upsell and internal ascension. But for now, we just keep it to the whole lead gen side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredibly important, just from a revenue perspective, to have those additional line items or additional revenue sources also. So I think that's clearly something that you want to discuss, but we'll do a whole nother webinar on different revenue sources for gyms.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and move on. We're going to just go to slide 7 here, the lead generation for low-hanging fruit. Walk me through this slide here. These are kind of that first start, the first couple of things you want to do, knock it out of the way, and then move on.
Yeah, so a lot of times when we're working with gyms, they've already had a database of people that they've built up over the year, or they don't have anything going on. So you have to figure out how to start generating leads and building up a database. And one of the easiest ways to do that, if you have a database, is to just reach out to those people and create a strategic promotion for them to want to come to the gym, do a free trial or something to that effect. When we first launched the gym, we didn't have any of that. We were brand new. We knew some people around the community, but we didn't have a lot of traction. So we had a good friend in the space who's built up a couple $1 million gym locations. And her idea was, you should just do some free boot camps. And so we started doing these free events. And the beautiful thing about free events, and I don't know if a lot of gym owners think about that, they shy away from it, right? I don't want to do anything for free, but every single person that walks through your door has to sign a waiver. They have to give you their name, their phone number, and their email, and they have to get a user profile inside of your membership management software. So that's like free marketing. So in one summer, we ran a ton of boot camps. We networked with a ton of different people within the community. We promoted the hell out of it on Facebook with free events. It was social fire. At one point, our biggest boot camp, we had 110 people do a boot camp at one time. It was insane. And over the entire summer, it was about 3.5, 4 months, we created 750 contacts inside of our database. We then repurposed those the following year and use that to do 7-day free trials, as well as we're getting ready to use that entire database to promote a 30-day challenge to start off the new year.
Perfect. So you don't have to have a database to get started, but a great way to build one if you don't have it is, like you said, those free events. And I agree with you. A lot of people want to shy away from those because you're quote unquote working for free. But really what you're doing is you're investing in the future of your business. So I love that.
Yeah, every bit of marketing is an investment in the future. You gotta stop looking so short-sighted at the fact that you're not getting any money today. You're getting money in the future, and if you create an awesome experience, then those people will definitely come back.
Yep. Well, entrepreneurs are known for working 80-hour weeks and making half as much as they could do in 40-hour weeks. You know, that's kind of the whole. That's what we do, right? That's the life of the entrepreneur. You work those 80 hours so that you don't make the money now, so you can make the money in the future and have that freedom you're looking for. So let's go ahead. Let's move to our next slide here and talk about some of the different lead generation sources that you've sussed out, tested, and kind of what you see as maybe the primary points you want to focus on.
Yeah, the main thing I think that when we first launched that we got wrong is we tried to create this like highly branded, really polished product. And that's cool for a small sector of the marketplace. It's not cool for the bulk load of for the mass market. Most people are freaked out by working out. They know it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work, and it's intimidating. So when you put a lot of like really fit people in your advertisements, you put a lot of people that are, run around with their shirts off, people just get turned off by it. The other thing that we did is we created these cool videos, and they were amazing. But when we were building out ads specifically on social, our ads were just really passive. And most people, when you're targeting on Facebook, they know they need to get in shape, so they need to be enticed a little bit to try to take action. And so when we completely reshaped the way that we were approaching that and created this sense of urgency and exclusivity and something that they needed to do immediately, instantly our response went up on our advertisements. And then we even took that another level by making sure that our ads were specifically tailored towards the different genders and the location where we were actually targeting. The other big piece of that we realized is most people don't go looking for gyms by searching on Google specifically. At least in the case of where we're at, where our gym memberships are $149 to $200 a month. Most of those people are more of like a personal training type of audience. And so what we started to do is just flip our paid search advertising strategy on Google to personal training only. And we went and started targeting the big cities in and around where the gym is located, like outskirts, Fort Collins, Windsor, et cetera. And those were worth it because it's expensive. It's, $30, $40 a click sometimes to compete at the top of Google for that. And then we created an exclusive package and promotion around personal training. And, people were coming and paying $849 a month for 3 months to get into what we call the lifestyle transformation package. But alternatively, if that was too high of a ticket, we had the nice sale of saying, hey, you could just become a member and really get some of those things that you're after, which is accountability, community, motivation, nutrition coaching, and all that stuff, which is included as well. But if some people want to pay that much money to have the one-on-one too.
Awesome. So let's start breaking these down. Let's move to slide 9 here. You're talking about lead generation on Google, and you already mentioned this briefly. Really, the only keyword worth targeting, and again, this is specific to your experience here in Northern Colorado, but we've seen this replicated across hundreds of other gym clients and customers that we're working with. Search and search patterns and keywords that people use, they vary based on what they're looking for, the services you offer, and where they're located. But kind of as a rule of thumb, we've discovered that really the only keyword worth targeting is personal training. Samson, like you already said, people aren't really looking for boutique gyms by searching for gyms. They already know where the 24-hour fitness is. They already know where the Anytime Fitness, they know those. And I'm a great example of this. If I wanted to go to one of those gyms, I'd already be a member, right? So I'm not actively looking on Google, especially for a gym opportunity or for that lifestyle commitment, things like that. So I'm a passive consumer, and I think a lot of people are. So if you're looking for personal training, that's very active. It's very expensive, but the investment is worth it. But then you've got the gym membership for people that maybe they don't want to dive in just yet, or they want to get to know the gym, or they want to get to know the experience that they can have there. So moving over to slide 10, this was where you had mentioned that you get a lot more results from Facebook. And again, because it's a little bit more passive, right? Like I'm not passively searching for something for a gym on Facebook, but if my actions, my activities, and my interests reflect that in the future or in the near immediacy, I may be interested in this, we can use Facebook's targeting to explicitly target those people with the right offer. And it's incredibly, incredibly productive. So talk to me a little bit about the strategies that you implemented on Facebook and kind of the results that you've seen.
Yeah, I think the big one that most people go for is like the free week trial. And we found that free sucks. And so you just, it's the same concept. You just got to change the language a little bit. So moving over to what we call the 7-day VIP pass, that has been extremely beneficial to us. We've also tried some other strategies like what we call a 7-day pass plus jumpstart, where we'll include nutrition on top of that. Some sales techniques come into that, meaning with the jumpstart, we're getting people who show up for a 7-day pass, but we're getting them to commit to a contract at day 1. And they get 7 days to really decide if they want to continue with that contract or cancel with no cancellation fee. But we found if we can get people into it, we can get them to commit to come 3-4 days that first week, give them some support in terms of nutrition coaching and accountability, that by the time the week's up, they're really excited to move forward. The other one that I just talked about with another marketer yesterday for gym marketing was doing a first class free and then a deep discounted first week, like $20 for the first week or something like that. There's a ton of different ways that you can stack the value, and you kind of have to play with it and test it to figure out what works. But when you find what works, when you find the bait that works, it becomes really, really easy. And the only thing you have to do at that point, once you get the copy that works and the button that works and the offer that works, is just continually change your creative. So 7-day pass is money. You got to make sure those ads are super inviting, raw pictures and images of people that are, sweaty, working out, all doing the same exercise, videos that are funny. Again, it's a scary thing that people don't necessarily want to do. And then ultimately you need to captivate their attention, because they didn't go to Facebook to be marketed to. They went to Facebook to see what their friends are up to or something like that. So there's a pattern of just scrolling through that you have to break, whether that's being funny or silly or emojis or dancing or, whatever it may be, to just get them to stop and actually look and read the content.
Yep. And we've got a bunch of these different things listed out on these slides. So I highly recommend everybody go ahead and check out the slide that we have. You can access that at m360.us/479FF. We've got a lot of different examples of how to set up your ads. We've got different examples of the type of ads to use. Like you had mentioned, utilizing the right kind of imagery, different emojis, things like that, kind of setting up different bait, essentially. So
yep, exactly.
Let's jump forward a little bit. I want to actually see a couple examples of these ads. So let's go ahead and jump over to slide 17. So we're going to move forward a little bit. Like I said, if you want to see different examples of an actual breakdown of different strategies to implement in the ads, how to set up your targeting, things like that, check out these slides after the webinar. But let's go to slide 17 and look at some of these ads that you built, just to see, these are the results that you were getting, and these were generating leads and generating results for you.
Yeah, so we also started running a 30-day challenge, or what we call the 30-day reset, a 6-week challenge, and then the 7-day pass. But anytime you're building an ad, there's a couple things that you want to try to include. Obviously, you want to include the location. You want to make it gender specific, which is a great piece of Facebook, is I can tailor my ad sets to specifically target a specific gender group. And then you want to make sure that there's this feeling of it, that it's limited and exclusive, that they're not going to be able to get this offer forever. And then you want to be truthful and authentic. I think that's a piece that nobody wants to feel bait and switched. I think they really appreciate, especially in social media, authenticity. So just being truthful about why you're doing it and what you're trying to accomplish by doing this promotion. And then you also kind of want to challenge them a little bit too. So, saying something like, don't even click the offer if you don't like to have fun, you don't like to save money, or do something like that. Those are ways that it's just one more step to get them to do the first step, which is to click the ad. And if they don't click the ad, then you don't even have an opportunity to try to convert them.
Yep. I love that. So looking at a couple of the examples here, you've definitely got a mix of utilizing the emojis, utilizing some very specific targeting, like high Windsor. You're targeted that ad specifically to Windsor. We are looking for 40 women to undergo a 6-week body fitness transformation. It's very specific, and these all work very well. But you have to be very particular. You have to make sure that an ad that is targeting a Windsor location is not showing up 20 miles south. You got to make sure that the ads that you're targeting specifically for women with an offer for them or men for an offer for them is not getting mixed. So this does take extra work, but it pays dividends.
Yeah, huge. And, most people, at least in the boutique gym space like this, they're not going to travel more than 10 miles. I mean, we have people that maybe travel a little bit further than that, but anywhere from 5 to 10 miles is probably your sweet spot when you're trying to run those ads. You get outside 10, 20, 30 miles, nobody's going to respond to that. So, and as you go and you optimize, you can tweak. You might realize that closer is better. Where our gym's located specifically, we're kind of in an industrial area. So we have to expand our reach so that we can get into the heart of Windsor and also bleeds over into some of the outskirts of Loveland and whatnot. But that's going to change. They're also going to build like 3,000 homes like a mile down the road from us. So we're in a good spot. Eventually we'll get all those people too.
Absolutely. And that's good to know also, if you're planning on starting a gym for the new year or getting launched in 2019, look into different areas that are growing and upcoming. If you can find an area that you can get some cheap rent, you can sign yourself a good lease, and there's 3,000 homeowners or 3,000 homes that are going to be built, bringing in families and homeowners and whatnot. That's a great opportunity for you also, because you've got that time to set up and establish yourself. And then you are a cornerstone of the community as the community builds around you.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point. A big misconception I think that people have when they're starting their gym is they feel like they need to be in the heart of the city. Like Fort Collins would be the ideal location for me to drop this gym. It's just cost prohibitive. Like the overhead is literally twice as much. We get basically 80 cents market rate where we're at, plus the gym build out and all that stuff, where I go take that up the road and I'd be paying nearly double that to get the same exact thing. And when you have good marketing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like location now is really built off of, are you present on Facebook? Are you present on Google? Are you present in all these different mediums where people are looking? 99% of the people that come into your gym aren't going to do that because they drove down the street and they saw your gym. It's the same thing. They're scared. They're not going to walk in the door anyways.
Right. It's like I said, I know where the 24-hour fitness is and Anytime Fitness and any of those other kind of corporate or chain gyms. I know where they are, right? And that's not going to change my mind as to whether or not I want to walk into them. So
you got it. And I'm not going to beat them.
And you're not going to beat them at their own marketing. You're not going to beat them at their own game. And you shouldn't. A small boutique, specialized lifestyle gym should not compete with the masses. If you are an e-commerce, if you're selling things online, you don't want to directly compete with Walmart because you will lose every time. You have to have something else that you're offering, and that has to set you apart. And if you've created this, if you've turned this gym into a destination and a community and a support system that people are willing to travel to, then why would you spend over market rate to get rent in the city, where now you have to compete with more people and more gyms? Whereas instead you can create the customer flow and you can create the clients by inviting them into something that matters.
Yeah. I mean, the global gym space is built on volume. The more members they can get, the better. And they'll take your $10, $20 a month, and they really don't care what happens because they know they're going to sell 5,000 memberships and probably 1,000 of those people are going to show up regularly. In a boutique gym space, you win on the value of the service that you offer. And so you got to stack that value. You got to highlight that value. You got to embrace that value, and you got to do things differently than the big global gyms do. And ultimately, the number one reason why people stop working out is accountability. And that's ultimately what a gym like this offers.
Right. Oh yeah. If I can get away with not being asked if I've gone to the gym, then I'm perfectly okay with that. And I won't ever go back. Right?
I'm still going to get you in there one of these days.
You keep trying. You keep practicing this marketing on me. We'll see what happens. Let's jump to our next slide. This is our results page on slide 18. Talking a little bit about the leads that you saw and kind of that cost per lead. I know this is some private information here, but I love that you can show the value of this. If you're only targeting people on Google, like you said, you could be paying $30, $40, $50 per click. Right here, we're looking at actual leads, forms filled out, information gathered, people that are interested in walking through your doors.
Yeah, the challenge leads obviously came in a lot cheaper. You also get people who are a lot less serious. Mm-hmm. The 7-day jumpstart pass, that's where we basically would include a week pass plus a meal plan to get them started. Those leads were a little bit more expensive, but they were also of a higher quality. And that lead cost actually got better as the campaign went on over the 30 days that this is showing right here. It basically got down to about $33 cost per lead, which is insane. And, you know, regardless of if we got them this month or we get them next month, we now have a lead that we can essentially work for life that's within that 7-10 mile radius in and around our location. And so, yeah, the campaigns themselves when they're structured right are crucial. One of the big pieces to getting this right too is you have to set up your landing page correctly, and I think that's shown here on the next page.
Yep.
But
we've got some examples of your squeeze page and your landing page for folks that want to look at them. That's on slides 19 and 20. So people can pull that up by going to m360.us/479ff. And you can see some different examples of the thank you page and the squeeze pages that you used to generate these leads.
Yeah, I mean, the key there is just making a two-step. You want people to, you know, first give you their name, phone number, and email before you actually get them to take the action, which maybe is schedule a consultation or sign up for their first class or something like that. But if you're just sending them directly to the sign up for the first class, you're going to lose 80% of those people because they're just not going to do it. Mm-hmm. So you just got to knock them one step further across the funnel, and then you got their contact information. So if you have a really good follow-up process, you have a really good nurture or text message marketing to follow that up, plus a really good salesperson, eventually you'll close that person.
And I actually want to jump on that real quick. You talk about collecting the information before making them commit to an offer or making them even kind of land on your landing page there. A lot of people would go, I don't want to add friction. I don't want to add extra steps to my sales process because I don't want to scare people away, right? I don't want to scare them away. Well, guess what? If by giving you their name and their email is going to scare them away, they were never going to convert on your landing page anyway.
Absolutely.
So you're already, you're not skipping a step. You're just making it a little bit easier to increase your lead flow. Additionally, if you're relying on your landing page to do all of the selling for you, then you need to turn your marketing around because that is not a good way to sell people. You want them already coming to your site, already coming to your business, excited about what you have to offer, and at least somewhat educated. They should never end up on a landing page and then have to educate themselves on why they got there in the first place. So
yeah, that's a major mistake.
I think is incredibly powerful, and I love that you brought that up because I love to jump all over that whenever I get the chance.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that's the number one mistake. Is it's almost a lazy action on the business owner's part to want the landing page to sell itself. I mean, you're passionate, so if you get the person on the phone, that's going to be the best way to communicate how you can help them. And obviously, it just comes down to sales, figuring out what's important to the customer and closing them. But the landing page is never going to do it. You'll maybe get 1% of those people to convert. So if I would have done that, you know, I would have gotten, you know, maybe 1-2 leads to actually sign themselves up. That's terrible. And instead, we got more like 80% of those people to show up.
Yep. Which actually brings us to slide 21 here, moving past a couple of those examples. I put this in bold because I think it's incredibly important. 80% of leads will never show up on their own. It's really, anybody who's ever run an event on Facebook knows this. Now, you click interested or you click going, 80% of those people are never going to show up because it's just so easy to say that you're going to do something, and then no one's going to hold you accountable if you're not going to show up. No one will notice me, nobody, whatever. 80% of people will not show up on their own. So, yep. Samson, I know you've got kind of an answer to this, right? Moving over to slide 22, how do you get those 80 people to walk through your door?
So for me, it was having a salesperson who's commission driven, who was also just knowledgeable in the product and a personal trainer, who just relentlessly followed up. That was probably the biggest component, but also just letting people self-schedule. We had a schedule set up for appointments when they could come in for a consultation and or sign up for their first class. And that was based off of the salesperson's schedule. And then the salesperson has to call them, or whoever that is, the gym owner has to call them, has to follow up, has to text relentlessly, and just be so excited about the fact that they're coming in and you're just ready to help them in whatever way you possibly can.
Oh, Samson, it looks like I lost you there. We lost your feed just a little bit. So I know you'll be back here in just a minute, but like you were saying, having a salesperson or having the gym owner, somebody there that's able to kind of take control or take ownership of connecting with these people. 80% of people are not going to show up. So reaching out, calling, emailing, texting, this doesn't need to be a salesy thing, but it does need to be something with a little bit of urgency, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of passion. People are willing to forgive passion. They're not willing to forgive used car salesman tactics. So you got to keep that in mind when you're doing this. If you don't have somebody in place, or you as the owner don't have time to manage something like this on your own, you can always automate emails. You can automate your text messages. You can add those personal touches that will really help and kind of really get you going where you need to go. We do have a couple of tools like that here at Marketing 360. So go to marketing360.com/start, and we can set you up, start talking about some different features and tools there. So let's move on to our next slide, slide 23, while Samson's getting his internet reconnected and coming back. So if the lead never shows up or signs up, right? If the lead never, then you've got some other options here. You want to move that lead down to a nurturing campaign. You know, add them, target them in your database, because you're looking at reactivation down the road. Now, all those people that signed up that we were talking about earlier, that signed up for Samson's marketing campaigns, not all of them came through. Not all of them are going to show up. And like you said, some of the campaigns, maybe the people weren't quite as serious as you might think that they would want to be, or as you would want to be. If you just went, well, those leads aren't worth it. Those leads are never going to give me what I want or what I need. Well, that was 54 leads generated about a $14 cost. So that's a considerable amount of money invested, right? That money was invested on driving people through. It doesn't really matter if they're passionate or not. You now have a database and an opportunity to nurture these people, educate them, and guess what? When they are ready, you are top of mind. You are the person that they are thinking about and actually wanting to work with or to integrate with, right? That's where that importance lies, because otherwise, let's do some quick math here. We're looking at 14 times what? 52, $728. That's $728 just given away. I don't know about you, but a lot of small businesses can't afford to lose $728, $750, $800, $1,000 a month on leads that never show up. But if you could turn that around and you could take that $1,000 a month and nurture some people and educate them, then you start to receive that value. The monthly recurring revenue goes up. You get more membership, and these people are excited to be a part of your business because they have interacted with you in one form or another for days, weeks, or months at this point before actually stepping foot into the gym. On slide 24, we discussed very briefly about talking upsells, different line items, different revenue items that you want to bring in, whether you're selling nutrition plans or additional fitness opportunities, swag, t-shirts, water bottles, things like that. Those are all upsell opportunities in the future, and I think something to very seriously think about, because they're all additional revenue streams. So if it makes sense for your business and your clientele, it's absolutely something to consider. Additionally, the upsell is moving people from that free opportunity, the free boot camp, into a paid monthly revenue source for you, a subscription, a membership, something like that. So the upsell and that upsell path does have to happen kind of across the board, and you want to plan that out in advance. How do you move somebody from a free opportunity to an actual paid client or paid customer? And you do that by giving them an offer they can't refuse, right? Got it in big and bold on slide 25 here. Give them an offer that they absolutely can't refuse because it's incredibly important. Let's jump to slide 26. This is kind of your sales and positioning, right? So by utilizing the different sales and positioning and using this as your upsell, this is how you're able to really identify who your best customer is and move them into the right position, right? So there's different things that you can do. You can do the first month's fees are due upon enrollment, right? That way you've paid for your lead, you've paid for your time and your energy. You get those funds and those finances back, as you need them. You can also do a larger enrollment fee or a $0 enrollment fee. A lot of different places will do this, and it kind of helps to create this culture of people that are dedicated to coming into the gym, that are dedicated to working out and working with you. Now, what I've found and what I kind of like is that if you create this monthly membership and you have someone who pays 6 months in advance, or you have somebody who commits and signs an agreement that they'll be paying for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, something like that, you can waive that enrollment fee, right? The enrollment is more for people that, listen, we've got to pay for this too. We've got to pay for the space. We got to pay for the time and the energy and effort. We're very committed to you, and we know that you just want to try this out, right? So there's always something that you can add on or you can do to ensure that people are integrating and working with your gym, coming in as customers, as clients, kind of wherever they're at or whatever they need, right? So you can adjust your pricing and adjust different pieces like that, just to ensure that you're able to work with any of the customers and clients that come in. Unfortunately, it looks like Samson's internet has gone down completely. So we will be answering questions. Just leave them in the chats and the comment here. We'll be able to answer those questions directly. If you've got specific questions for Samson, just leave them there. We'll be sure to answer those. Again, you can access this presentation. It's actually 27 pages long. There's a lot of different pieces of information in here, a lot of examples. You can get that at m360.us/479ff. Again, m360.us/479ff. Additional resources are available at youtube.com/marketing360. And if you like this presentation and you'd love to work with us, go to marketing360.com/start, fill out a form there, and we'd love to talk to you about how we can work with you, partner with you in your small business, and help you grow. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it, and happy marketing.